Now we can learn to play a lot of popular songs by playing triads or chords in the right hand. This is a 3-note triad in C major, and we couple that up with a note in the left hand, which is the bass, which corresponds to the chord. And we might also double up that bass note by playing an octave even lower. So we play them all together, and sometimes we wouldn't. Now then, what happens when we want to move to our second chord in the song? Let's move to A major. Well, that doesn't sound too bad, but it's not very natural. Let's try moving from C major to G major. That sounded a lot more natural, and there's a reason for this. Let's just carry on for the time being, and I'll explain that reason later. So where do we move from the chord G major? Well, the most natural move would be to the chord F major. If I start from C again, you'll see what I mean. Now you'll notice, if you've seen my video on chord groups and inversions, that these three chords, C, G and F, form a group of chords which have the same shape, the same shaped notes. They're all white notes. These groups of chords can be used together in any combination, and they sound good. Now I want to introduce the concept of the musical journey. So we start from a home position, which would be the chord of C. We move away to a different chord, and then we move further away from home, and then we move back to home. And it sort of sounds right. We're returning to home. And if you look at the verses of most popular songs, this is what they do. They start on a particular chord and end on it. Now I'm going to play a famous song using the chords C, F and G as we've seen, and also A minor. And you'll see how you can make a powerful song from just such simple chords. And if you play the right inversions, it sounds slightly better. So you can see the journey in that song. It started off on C major, moved away from home to G, then A minor, and notice that that has the same shape again, a minor chord, so it tends to blend with the C, F and G. And then it went back to F, and then back to home. Let's look at a slightly more complicated song that starts off on the chord D minor, but this time the last chord in the verse is an A major. So it doesn't return to home. But the interesting thing is, D minor and A major also go well together. So when you start the next verse of this song, it tends to flow seamlessly. So here is the song, and notice how it starts on the D minor, but ends on an A major. So let's have a look at that chord progression in more detail. Starts off on D minor, then goes to A minor, and we know that that sounds good together because the shape of notes is the same. D minor uses 3 white notes, and so does A minor, so they tend to work together. Then it goes to G minor, which is quite a nice change again, and then back to home again, D minor, and then back to A major, and that's where it finishes. So what I'm trying to illustrate is that you tend to start off on a home position, you move away from the home position to somewhere else, and you may be a long while, but you will eventually end up at the home position. I've also tried to show when you start off on a chord, there's only certain other chords that you can move to. So, chord progressions can be very interesting, but essentially they are just a musical journey. So what is it about these groups of chords, C, F and G and D, E and A, that make them go well together? It's purely their frequency ratios. Because they're simple, they sound good on the ear, and so they're easy to play in any combination.